Good morning. I see we have a viewer already here. A few minutes behind this morning. Let me get this shared out to everybody if you don't mind real quick before we get started. Alrighty. Let's see, where's everybody at? Who do we have in the room with us now? If you don't mind sharing. Or in the chat, rather. The room. We have 2 viewers here this morning. Good morning, everybody. I hope everyone's doing all right. Get it pulled up here as well. Here it looks like shit this morning. Of course, this will be good. Too many electronics. Too many electronics. I have 3 viewers here this morning. Can we get some names in the chat so we know who we're talking to? Also, if you have some stocks you want to review in today's session, feel free to go ahead and comment as well. Let's see how our market's doing. In the meantime, go ahead and share my screen. Going into today, it looks like U.S. markets are split. As you can see, we're down overall 0.03%. So looks like the S&P picked up from where it closed a little bit. International markets are down with a -3 score. All 3 of these being red is why. The VIX is down, which is good. That means we have some upside. Volatility is lowering. Crude's doing well, as everybody may or may not know. Good morning, Justin. How are you doing? Welcome. Thank you for joining us today. If you have any stocks that you would like to look at, feel free to add them in the comments with your current price average if you're in the stock. If you're not, then we will just review it based on, get my mic over here, based on its current situation and trend. Copper is currently down. The Australian dollar compared to the Japanese currency, I don't know what it is. JPN is up. That's currently giving us an overall score of 1, which leads to believe that the stock market will do pretty well today, even though we're split on the NASDAQ and Russell being in the red going into pre-market. I'm going to go ahead and track that. This is a tool that I have developed. A lot of people would call a heat map here on Millennial Investments, where I'm able to track the status of the markets throughout the day. Just getting logged in. Understood. Same here. Let's pull up some of our alerts in case we have to refer to some of those. See how some of those are performing. Get my TDA moving up here. So, Justin, are you a member on our Discord or a member from Facebook? Also trying to keep track of, where our members are so that we can provide updates appropriately, although we will be updating everything all at once anyways. Good morning, Antoine. How you doing? Glad you joined us this morning. Like I was telling Justin earlier, if you have any stocks you want to review going into today's trading session, I don't want to miss any other additional opportunities. that could be discussed. I will be reviewing a few from yesterday's session here shortly. Give me a second to pull those up. Discord, Dylan and I go way back. Yeah, me and Dylan are from the same, we went to the same high school apparently. He's a few years younger than me, of course, but crazy thing about Dylan is I met him through a guy from Florida, oddly enough. Crazy how the world gravitates. Somebody commented on my YouTube channel and said, weed in stock should be the name of your channel. You're high, dude. Nah, I'm not, but thank you for the comment. If you don't like what I'm presenting here, you don't have to be here. That's all I can say. All right. Hi. Yesterday's quotes. Zom, NXTD, BGI, DPW, please. Yeah. I was actually getting my watch list set back up. I've only been following the ones I actually made trades on. I'll ask him that as soon as hopefully he hops in here. I know he did on Saturday, but I know that some of the time he's at work. By the time I'm up and running with him being in Germany. So we already have DPW on the list. What's a good stock to put $190 in this morning? Okay. Let's start with Zom. If y'all have any other stocks you want to review, feel free to add it. Let me make a quick announcement to get some more of our members in here too. Coffee and stocks. What's today? 17th. Join us in today's OCD about my typing. Pre-market coffee and stocks session at Millennial Investments. I'm gonna go ahead and put it in there twice because sometimes the link will show. No, I think I fixed the system to work right. All right, there we go. Send that out to our social media platforms. Zom. All right. Looking at Zom, it seems like we broke down here. We gapped down. I think I was warning about this a lot yesterday in yesterday's pre-market session about, we could be seeing certain signs going into, pre-market, but market open comes and it gets slaughtered. Exactly what happened here with Zom, and along with a lot of other stocks as well. We had large, some large dips going into market open, but then we had breakouts, and then everything just pulled back. I do want to stop for a second and see how the SPY is working before we get into this more in depth. That's one thing I didn't do yesterday, and I paid the piper for it. Not keeping up with this gap here going into pre-market, hitting all-time highs at the 395 price level, and then consolidating. Anytime the stock does hit an all-time high, it typically consolidates for the rest of that trading session due to profit taken from other stocks performing based off of that. Going into the morning, we're seeing some sell-off here, or after our session, that is. And then it seems like we might break back up to the upside on the SPY this morning. And that's just from constantly watching the SPY. So I do need to consider that moving forward every morning that we do this coffee and stock session, because as you can see, it brought down the markets with it. That was across the board. Everybody was typically seeing a red day yesterday, which is understandable now, and I think that's the reason why. But I will be watching this going into the day. Let's see how it's performing on the 1 hour. That'll kind of give us, see, we're bouncing off that top EMA there, so we should bounce off of it and back to the upside going into the day. So we should see a green day just like I expected. and based off what the trading log is telling me here as well. But anyways, getting straight to it, looking at Zom, Justin said he has a price average of 242 on Zom. Zom, ZOM, I call it Zom. ZOM is currently concerning because we broke this level of support on the 235 and now we're trading at 227. That might not seem like, a lot. We're only down about 8 cents above that support level. And potentially retesting the 212. I'd have to go through my video reviews from yesterday and determine if I was already looking for a pullback to the 212, but I believe I was, based on the price action we were seeing in yesterday's market and the fact that the EMAs are going red here. I'll pull some of that info out so we can actually look at the price. I'll keep this here as we're using it for our price ranges that we'll trade in. So what I'm looking for with ZOM is a potential bounce off of that 212. If we continue going down into pre-market, we can kind of go into the smaller time frames and look more at how it's currently selling. We're seeing a lot of buying coming in, even though it gapped down pre-market open. We're actually seeing more buying than selling in pre-market. I'm pretty sure people are going to be buying the dip here. ZOM is a heavily discussed stock amongst a lot of different traders that are pushing any information on YouTube, from my understanding. And I'm pretty sure a lot of retailers are watching this as well because of that. So another red day is what Osei just said on our Facebook. So we'll see. I'm not going to say I'm some perfect guy, but that's just based off my indicators. I think we might have a green day today based on what I'm watching from the trade log. This trade log also tells me how the markets are performing since this time frame at 7:07 Central Time. So we'll be watching that going through the day. I'll try to share that with everybody. Looking at ZOM, as you can see yesterday, we didn't see the same type of buying volume that we did this morning, and it's not a lot of selling, even though the price is down the way it is. We saw a lot of selling in the pre-market. That's what these red columns back here are, and I think that forced the pullback this morning. I am going to pull up my TD Ameritrade up here so I can see if there's any news released. I also have it over here so I can look now. Let's see. It looks like they exercised an over allotment option by underwriter. That's what this is telling me here. And basically what that means is they're probably bringing more shares to the market. It looks about 13 million more shares into the market, and that would cause for this to gap down the way it did. So still some strong confidence in it. Just because they did an offering, the price is down. It's not necessarily due to the heavy selling that we saw market open yesterday and market close and after hours yesterday. So, but to identify what we need to watch with ZOM is the how we react to this 212 level going into today, and if we're able to bounce back up to the 265 within today's trading session, and that will define, the path forward for it. I'm not in ZOM myself. Yesterday I ended up buying BLNK. I ended up buying some Sundial options, or SNDL, and some OEG options. And I already had some PRVB options based on a trade alert we did before, but it's not doing too well. I know that the EV market was pulled back because Tesla was down, being the market leader for the EV market, and that's what I'm looking at for reversal myself. But going into today's trading session, let's just watch how ZOM reacts to that overextension, basically over allotment is what they call it, of more shares to the market, which is fine. I mean, it just allows more people to get into the stock. It allows the company to capture more liquidity based on what is being pushed into the company in the stock market to continue improving its business operations and so forth. So not a bad thing here. typically when this happens, it will retrace back to its previous levels before announcing information like this, from what I've seen. I'm not saying that's gonna happen, but that's what I expect. But that's where we're at with Zom. Y'all have any more questions about it, feel free to hit the comments. That's what I'm looking for, is how we react to that 212 level, to see if we retrace back to the upside on the 265 in today's trading session, or even tomorrow. But I mean, it's already pretty high now. I mean, we're up 226%, going all the way back to the third. So a healthy retracement would be great. And pulling back to that 212 and finding support would show strong signals of a continued move to the upside moving forward. But I'm going to go ahead and move to the next stock. I'm new. Just want to know if Zom will go up today. I'm not necessarily saying that ZOM will go up today only because of the simple fact that they had this stock offering going in. A lot of people might view this as buy the dip. Retail investors may be coming into this, and once they see dips like this, they cause these stock prices to jump heavily. So trying to factor in what retail investors are gonna do is kind of hard. But just based off the technical analysis and trend analysis, it looks like we are going to retest at 212. I know that Justin's in at 242. Make sure that we stay above the 212, Justin, and then bounce off of that. We might dip a little bit below it, but let's make sure that it finds the support to bring it back above it. If it does, then we'll continue higher. If it goes down at least 3 hours below that level, then I would expect this to continue coming back down. Of course, you can see here, if I pull all this information back out, we have this deep gap to fill that hasn't been filled. It was attempted by retracing to the 212, but it was never necessarily filled. And I would determine that by how I bought 218 stocks for 229. Do you think I should sell it? I'm not saying sell it. Just because of the stock offering, this happens all the time. Typically, the stock comes back as something. I don't know if you caught that part. A-Rap Gamer. What we're looking for is making sure we're hitting the 212. I want to reiterate that. Finding support. If it goes 3 hours below it, this might retrace to the 148. Potentially. I'm not saying it is, but I'm just telling you, hypothetically, this is what I would expect if that type of price action occurred, especially in the midst of an extended stock offering for an additional 13 million shares. That has to all be bought up first before we can continue moving forward and going forward. The next stock that I'm going to look at this morning, if y'all have any more questions about Zom, feel free to drop it in the comments below. Also, if you would, please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. But one thing that I really would like to take the time to ask you to do is sharing this. The coffee and stock session is not about me. It's about us getting together, looking at everything pre-market. And the more people we have in that, the more opportunities we can find collectively as a group. So I ask that you simply just share the link, whether it be on Facebook, Twitter, Discord, wherever you are. If I haven't already shared it in those places for you, if you can just share it on your Facebook and stuff, so we can bring more members into this and have a more thorough discussion, find more potential opportunities to trade on going into the day. I will say yesterday somebody brought up OEG. I bought a call on it, and it performed very well for me. It actually held up my entire account yesterday. As you can see, it bounced to the $10 price range, consolidated, pulled back, and then now we're back right back to the 991s to retest those $10 price ranges again. So that's an opportunity that I've found from looking, discussing things with you guys, and I want that to occur for you all. We may just another thing I want to add before we get into any other stocks is that we may review stocks. These are stocks that are reviewed based on the followers and the subscribers and what they want to look at. They're not suggested purchases, okay? I'm not, just because I say, as long as we hit this price level, it's going to go up, blah, blah, blah. I'm not saying that. I'm just telling you what to look for going into the market. And that's what this is about, and for my opinion. If you have any information on what you think, feel free to drop it in the chat. That's fine with me. But I don't want you to take everything that I say as a buy recommendation or even a sell recommendation. These are just things that we need to consider and pay attention to going into the trading session, whether you're looking for an entry into the stock or if you already have a position. So NXTD, it looks like it bounced down about 20 cents. How much sales is the company expected to make once the product is released? I haven't dove that far into ZOM. I will definitely do my do more DD on the stock for you if that's what you need, and I can add it in the comments of this video once we publish it on YouTube that you can refer back to. You can always do that, guys, is comment on the video after it's published if you were not able to attend that morning session, and we can individually review those stocks. I might do a collective video of all the requests at the end of the day. I know that at the end of the day it doesn't matter for that current day, but it could potentially help you with the next trading session or even the next week if it's a Friday. But I will try to add as much information to the comments of the videos that you can refer back to. Should I sell it? Let's look at, I'll add Nokia to the list. I actually had about 8 call contracts for March on Nokia, and I owned about 100 shares, but I'll get to that conversation in a minute. Let's go in order. NXTD, just like everything else, due to the market pullback yesterday, we fell, but we found support on the lower EMA. This is our 55 EMA. And then bounce back up with a strong gap up, it looks like, here in pre-market. And we were looking to break above the 211 and find support moving forward to see the stock go higher and then eventually retest that 249. It looks like, I wouldn't say it's struggling as far as the trend, but it's struggling to stay above that 211. And as you can see now, there was a large candle right here trying to bounce above it, and then it was rejected, and now we're back at the 204. We're seeing some selling volume come into the stock here pre-market. We saw large buying volume spikes here at the beginning of the day, just like almost anything else, but as everything else did yesterday, we came back down. The fact that it got back up is showing that there's strong resilience in the stock to continue moving higher and holding up very well on the, let's look at the 1 hour real quick so I can identify our support levels once again. Let's see, market close from Friday was 190 or so, and it looks like we're finding new support above those levels. And I say that because we dropped down here on the 10th, and then it rebounded right back up above it and found that support moving forward. So 190 is a key level to pay attention if you're looking at a position in this stock. If you have a position in this stock and it's currently under your price average, make sure we don't drop below the 190. So what I'm going to start doing, a new thing that I'm also going to start doing, is I'm going to start identifying our key levels that I point out for the day as purple, so that I don't get it mixed up with my own analysis that I'm conducting on these trades myself. But I'm going to put this 190 purple on here to point that out as a key level, and getting above the 211, I want to identify why I chose that level. That is because it was a previous level of resistance back here on the 7th of January. It could not get above those price ranges and lost support. Also, one thing I'd like to identify about the 190 levels is that it was once a level of resistance, and now it has reversed to become a level of support, which is a strong sign that we should move higher in this stock for from this point on. Ali Paula, we just reviewed Zom. Make sure Zom does not go below the 212 with it doing a stock offering. That's not impossible. It might dip a little bit below the 212, but make sure that it doesn't stay below the 212 after 3 hours. After you see that occur, is my suggestion. How I would trade it. NXTD though, I'm not sure if anybody has any positions. Vulcan, do you have a position in this? If so, what's your price average? Let me know, and we can review it based off of that. That's if you request a stock, let me know whether or not you have a position in it. If you do have a position, let me know what your price average is, so I can consider that in the analysis, and we can discuss that together. Looking at BGI, that was a stock we reviewed yesterday, which was actually recommended by one of our members on our Facebook chat group. We were looking at BGI to break above the 273. As you can see, in yesterday's pre-market, we attempted that, but we did not make it above there, although the stock is in an uptrend right now. Still on the 1 hour, that is. Going into today, where are we at? Why is it not showing pre-market on this stock? I guess there's not too much pre-market action on this stock going in. But that's what we're looking for here, is to bounce above the 273, find that support, and continue moving forward to retest the 363, which I think, doing the math, it was like, what is that, almost $1, so it's near 43% or something like that, oddly, around that area. Still the same predictions on BGI. We got to get above this 273. If we get rejected again, I think the momentum will continue to push it to the upside, as we're not seeing the EMAs come down. We're not seeing too much heavy selling volume to accommodate for the large buying volume spikes that we're seeing in the stock. I'll pull this back so we can kind of see the price action in itself. But if we find that rejection and we start to lose momentum, then we could potentially retrace to the 213 here, or all the way back down to the 147. I'm not saying that it will. Another key level that I would look for if it does retrace is the 205, because it was a previous level of resistance before retesting those and bouncing back to the upside and actually breaking out to this 366. It got rejected and came back to the 273. I do want to identify why we selected 273. I'm pretty sure that was based off of historic price action. So let's consider that real quick and make sure. Yeah, right here. So 273 being a very key level based on previous price action back all the way to March 18th. It had issues before getting above that level, and as you can see, we're having issues there again. And as you can see, it broke down all the way back from where it bounced up from. So this is something to keep an eye on with BGI. The momentum that it's currently in, though, is showing strong signals to retest those 273s and eventually get above it and retest those 366. That was our analysis from yesterday. I'm still sticking to that. That's what my expectations are, unless I start seeing momentum loss. And then we may be retesting those 205s, at least finding some support here. We can find some small support here and then bounce down. So watch out for that as well. But what I want to do and spend time with this prehistoric, yes, super old trends. But what I'm trying to do here with Coffee and Sessions is just identify your key levels of support and resistance, to pay attention to those and kind of help you, assist you in the way you trade moving forward. And that's what this is all about. So, I'm not going to be right every time. Things will happen. Like, I know a lot of stuff happened yesterday that disappointed myself. Simple fact that I didn't consider where the SPY was yesterday was enough to destroy everything. So anyways, looking at DPW, I have some calls on DPW, and it performed very well going into yesterday's market open. As you can see, we bounced all the way to the 216, found some resistance, retested the 698 and sold out. It bounced down, but it stuck to its trend level. That brought confidence in the trade to me. I actually watched this trade all the way into pre-market and saw that it was sitting here. I expected it to gap up, which it did this morning. What I've been telling everybody is we need to find strong support above the 638 in order for it to build up, find more momentum above those levels, and continue to break out to the upside. I'm still sticking with that same analysis. I'm currently profiting from the fact that it is currently up now. I'm glad to see that it's up. I don't know if anyone has a position in the trade. If you do, feel free to drop your price average. I'm not saying this is a time to buy into it because of the fact that we're so high. into this stock. I also want to confirm that I am analyzing trades that people want to view, that they might have a position on, or they're looking to make an entry, and I'm only providing the information to help determine better entry points in it and key levels to watch for as far as exit strategies going forward. I am not pushing alerts out on these stocks. You can view those videos on the YouTube channel itself. I am not suggesting to buy these stocks. Even if I say that I'm going to buy these stocks, I'm not suggesting that you should. I want to make that clear. If I do, I'm risking the money of my own. That does not recommend that you do the same thing. And a stock like this, we just started discussing it yesterday. This is what I would call potentially being able to buy a drink at the party instead of buying the whole bar. I would not recommend this trade at this point because of the fact that it's already broken out and we're in a period of retesting heavy key levels of resistance and finding new support on the way. So and I say this with DPW, not that it's not a good company, not that everybody's suggesting it's going to break out, not that it's going to, it's not going to perform or anything like that. I like to find and suggest trades before they occur. I do not follow trades that are already broken out. I do not suggest buying into stocks that have already broken out. That's not how I supply my information to anybody. So, but if you're going to request that we look at these stocks, then I'm just going to look at it and give you, like Michael said, give you the tools and signals, explain the trend, and let you make a decision based on that. And that's exactly what we're doing here. So just take that into account. We have a few viewers here. Feel free to add your all right, we have INFY. I think I actually looked at this over the weekend. Why don't we FOMO? Why don't we FOMO? Because by the time FOMO occurs, which stands for fear of missing out, by the time it occurs, it's already too late, in my opinion. And as soon as I start feeling FOMO, I look at a new trade. There's too many stocks in the market to be focused on one just because it's breaking out so well. There's more and the fact that something's breaking out, you can almost guarantee a lot of people have attention on it, which causes more volatility. And the first signal that people start seeing where it's a large sell-off, they jump out of the trade. And that's what I want people to realize. What we're doing here is focusing on key levels, so that way if you see a price drop a certain degree or a certain amount, you find your support levels to give you that confidence. Okay, DPW broke out to almost 680 this morning, but bam, it's back down to 630 already pre-market. We didn't find support above this 638, but we stuck strong to this trend line that we're on. Yeah, it dipped down below it, but it did here too and bounced right back above it. So let's see if we, this is a perfect example. Let's see if we stick strong to that and keep moving forward. And let's see if we stay in the current trend. And if we're currently in what you call an ascending triangle, let's see if we are able to retest those 698s and break through it. Find support even above where the 617 levels was. That was the high from yesterday. So I want people to look at it from that point of view, not that this is an indefinite buy or sell signal that I'm giving you guys right now. I'm just telling you how I would trade it, and how I'm looking at it. I think Antoine wanted to look at Nokia. I was looking at Nokia on a 1 minute chart, man, and it looks like a cryptocurrency at this point. Like I said before, I had like 8 $5 calls for March 5th on this stock. This was well before earnings report was coming out. Zach, I see your request for Zom. We're looking for Zom to stay above the 212. Sorry guys, just so I can catch him up. We're looking for Zom to stay above the 212. It's currently in a stock offering, which explains why the price is down the way it is this morning. It all depends on how long it takes to fill the $13 million shares that they're putting into the market before the stock can continue moving forward. pay attention that if it goes below the 212, don't freak out too soon. Give it about an hour and see how it trades, unless it just drops out and plateaus, just so he can see the price points that we have on it. We are making sure that it holds strong on the 212, but we have a gap fill here and could go back to the 148 or potentially the 205, I think it was I identified. Or let me see, I can look in a little bit more. Right here, 180. So before it goes back to 148. I'm not saying it's going down, but I'm just telling you that with it being in a stock offering, that will cause the price to go down because more float is coming into the market. But with Nokia, long-term Nokia hold, great. I think they either have this large contract. I can't remember if it's Ericsson has a contract with AT&T, T-Mobile, and Nokia has the contract for Verizon let me back up. Ericsson either has the account with T-Mobile and Sprint, and Nokia has the account with Verizon and AT&T. Me personally, I don't like AT&T. I'm a Verizon person, and I've never been fond of Sprint. And apparently T-Mobile is some new conglomerate. But there's a lot of other things. Nokia also has 74 other commercial contracts. Everybody keeps asking about Zom. I guess we could just sit and talk about Zom all day. I will refer back to Zom here in a minute, Jesse. We just looked at it for the third time. There's another thing you can do too. If you miss a segment in this review, you can always go back and look at it. That'll leave you about 30 minutes. If we stop at 8 o'clock, it'll leave you about 30 minutes to recap on our video. I will place chapters in the description so you can skip straight to the reviews and you don't have to go through the whole process to try to dig. But Nokia, long-term hold, definitely with it. They have an NSA contract with the U.S. government. That's currently what's going on with Huawei getting kicked out by the Trump administration. We're basically looking for, it's a battleground for the United States. And another thing that Ericsson and Nokia have now become are back doors for China to still push their telecommunication services through the United States, believe it or not. Nokia did well on earnings. They had some concerns with this 2021 outlook based on the call. I actually sat on the call. I would definitely, if I was looking to make a longer term position on this stock, I would definitely potentially buy it at these areas. As you can see, I broke this trade down to the T. Once we broke this trend, this was the report, the earnings report. As soon as it broke that trend, I sold out. And it's since then dropped 40 odd cents. Nokia with NASA. It's either NASA or NSA. I think it's NSA based on the DD I did. If they have a contract with NASA, that just adds to it. If they have one with either or, that's fine. But if they have it with both, that's even better. If you want to compare, the next competitor to Nokia is Ericsson, ERIC ticker. You will see that Ericsson has a $12 stock price, and what I would want to do is understand why. I think Nokia is the more sound company than Ericsson. Let me see how many Nokia float shares. Shares outstanding, they have 5.62 billion, and they only have half of that, give or take. Or wait, shares outstanding 3.33 billion. That would explain why Nokia is $4 versus Ericsson being, 12, to my understanding, unless it's went up or down since then. They're 13 now, but I feel like Nokia is heavily undervalued company, especially with them being a 5G infrastructure leader here in the United States, also in Europe. They're a Finland-based company. Actually, found that out. But they're really focused on telecommunications infrastructure. They provide a lot of fiber cabling to the current 5G infrastructure that you're seeing built in the U.S. They're currently battling Eric with U.S. territories, and as you can see, the market is currently split between the two. So this is a good competition I'd look forward to watching moving forward. To go into the next trade though, price targets on Nokia. I think it should be worth $12 in my opinion. I'm not saying that's where we're going. But look for it to break this 431 price level. If it does, we'll start trading in this price range. I think, Antoine, you told me you have a 417 average on this before. If you do, then you're looking at a 10% gain just jumping to the 453. And then another 10% profit if we can break up above into these price ranges here. I'll identify those for you real quick. And that would sit somewhere around these price levels. So let me see why I identified that 482. It's probably off previous price action. Of course, this was the short squeeze movement, and while the stock hit $10, blah blah blah. But 574, yeah, that was a previous level of resistance. Above that, I would, let's see, this is what happens when retail investors come in. It messes up a chart, excuse me. 533 is another key level that I would watch for here, Antoine. So this is what my range is starting to look like. If we can break above the 431, you could see $1 jump on this, which is close to 25 to 30% gains. Based off of where you're currently at the 416. It's currently sitting out on your price average, so I would feel pretty comfortable with the trade and letting it do its thing. I know you were holding this long term, somewhat as a retirement investment, and I don't think it's a bad idea. The company is looking good as far as fundamentals go. I've been watching their fundamentals for some time now. 2020 COVID pandemic caused some issues for them, but just as every other company, I believe they're on the right track to coming back. So we had Justin ask about INFY. I have not looked at this stock, so let's do it properly. First thing I do is always identify my most recent levels of resistance, which is the the 1186. And then we have a key level here. They must not have many shares in the market, is why we're seeing these types of price averages. One thing I would like to identify is the 1186 because it was a previous strong level of resistance back in October of 2020. As you see, we hit that price level. It filled this gap right here, down here, and found support at the 1053 before momentum kicked in, and it was able to retest those 1186 levels with a gap up, and then found strong support and bounced. All right, so we have another gap up, same type of gap up it looks like here at the 1392. It consolidated and attempted to backfill that gap, but found support here. So I will identify those as well. And this is the trading range now that we will be trading in moving forward. I'm going to turn this blue because it was a previous level of support. This is the newfound one. As you can see, we are currently in this type of trend. If you were to identify it here, we broke down. That could mean, and then we come from the top line analysis. I'm going to start it here. No, that's my horizontal line. Give me a second. Something to this degree. At this point, it was supposed to break out. The fact that it broke down, and this is a 50-50 crap shot, man, where it breaks down. It could have broke up, but it didn't. It's too much resistance right here at the 1320s, and it just broke down. Now we're currently sitting 100, almost close to 100 points down. We're at, what, 40 points down now? I'm sorry, not 100 points. Anyways, I expect it to retest these 1230 price levels. Concern about that is if it finds too much momentum to the downside. And if you're looking at this from the 1 hour, that'll kind of define its current path. We're going red on this stock, which means, as you see here, once that triggered, it fell out and it dropped from 13.25 all the way back to 12.30, $100. So we could see that occur here now that it's broken its trend, right? We're broken our ascending. This is actually almost our freaking bull flag. If you were to look back from the gap up, it broke the bull flag. Somebody asked me about this in our Facebook groups. Why do I not use symbols, trending symbols in my analysis? Is because stuff like this happens. Whereas if I'm able to simply identify my price ranges that I'm trading within, like here, I know that I'm either going to be, I'm midway in between this price range. I have a 50-50 chance that it goes up or down. It's more likely going down here. So I would wait to get into this stock around the support levels as close as I could get them. We might not hit the support levels. We might find support here at the 1256 and bounce back up. Or we could hit that 1256 and bounce down strongly because the support wasn't refound here, and retest those. And with the momentum coming down so heavy on the stock, it could actually send it below those levels to retest the 1186. These are all theoretical, situations that could occur. These are key levels that I would definitely pay attention to. And in its current status, let's make sure we stay above that 1255. So I want to mark that purple because that is my key level based on this analysis that I'm having with you guys. We all make rookie mistakes, man. I think the best traders only learn from making mistakes and finding strategies. These are key levels that I would definitely So watch out for that. I mean, don't watch out for it. Take pride in that. Michael, he's in the chat with us here. He was right beside me for days. We spent almost 6 to 7 months trading together, side by side. We lost money. We made money, crazy amounts of money. I think one day we were up 30 grand on Waiter during the COVID spike. That was off a retail jump. Remember that? And then we were down. It dropped out on us like 20 grand instantly or something. Some crazy number. Like, I don't know. Within a matter of like 10 minutes. So, that's the stock market for you, man. You make your mistakes, but you see how it works for you. You find your strategy and making it work for you. Yeah, we got history for sure. But that's my projections on INFY. Watch for that momentum drop, man. 4 hours showing. I can pull in some more of my indicators. Yeah, we're in a downspin on the 4 hour. The simple fact that the EMAs were all already showing red. Our volume weighted MACD is showing red. We're not seeing large buying volume here to accommodate for the yeah. You want to look at Gmpx here in a minute? I wouldn't mind. They still owe me an office. Anyways, we're not seeing large buying spikes to accommodate for these selling spikes that we're seeing here. The MACD to volume flow indicator is also showing that we're going red as well. This is the standard MACD. RSI is showing a downward spin. So yeah, I would expect this to go into oversold status potentially. Hit those 1230s. We might dip below it if the momentum's too strong to the downside, and retest those 1186s. Justin, just watch out. Be safe. Trinidad James, don't be safe. I'm sorry. Had to blurt that out. Some people might know about that. Some people might not. All right, so let's look at ARCC. This is Ares Capital Corp. Typically, I'm guessing, is this a SPAC? Not sure. Anyways, let's get into the trade. Let me reset my graph. Looking at this, I always identify my most recent level of resistance before its current price action and where it trended. This is a good one to identify for the simple fact that the stock not only traded along that for some time, almost weeks, almost a week, if not longer, before finding some support right here on the 2nd of February. Then I dig closer into it. We had a gap up, bounced up, started trading where it's currently at 1793. Found resistance there first, then gapped up above it and found support right here and gapped up again. And then we gapped down below it. And now we've been trying to fight to get it back above it. So what I'm seeing here, that's initially what I'm watching as the stock has been battling to move higher. Let me pull back a little bit further on the daily. This just looks like a sideways trade. I mean, although it is currently up $4 or so, $4.20 since October. I'm not sure if this is a long-term play for you, Justin. I'm not sure what you're looking at getting at in this. Your price average is $17.99. Ooh, that's a little up there, from my opinion. The fact that we're battling to get above the $18 price range. Let me bring in my indicators. That'll kind of give me an idea where we're sitting. It looks like we're trying to go to the upside here. We had a large sell spike here on the 11th, but it was replaced and recouped by this large buying spike. This is most likely people buying this dip that occurred, large gap down from 1846 to 1796 price levels, which I'm guessing is where you probably got into this trade. I'm not sure, but it looks like with all the buying that we see overtaking the selling, and we're still having issues getting above this 1794 price level here. I would look forward to do that. If it does that, then we could see it retest these 1873 price levels, which will give you about a 10% gain on the trade off of your 1790 what was it, 1799 price levels. Oh wait, you know what, did I review the wrong stock here for you? The INF? Why? Oh, I did. Oh, man. I did. I'm sorry. Okay. I was wondering why it was that price point. That's crazy. We'll have to go into this a little bit more after I finish your ARCC request. We have seven members in here with us this morning. Good morning, everybody. If you have a stock you want to review, we have a close to about 10 to 15 minutes. I don't mind going over a little bit. I'm already ready for today's session, so I have time. If you have time, feel free to drop your name, any stocks you want to review while we are conducting this morning's coffee and stock session in the comments. And if you have a position in the stock, please provide your price average so we can base our analysis based off of your current position. All right, but going into our ARCC, I would look forward to retest those 1873s, and then see if we can't. As you can see, I want to point something out. This is why I do horizontal price ranges. Once again, I'm gonna do this probably every day until people understand what I'm doing here. I'm pointing out key levels, not just support and resistance, but key levels that are currently playing a part in the stocks. And as you can see here, previous levels of resistance are now newfound support. And once the stock breaks above them, you see they find support there to continue breaking out. Continuation pattern. Same here with the 1747. As soon as we sat there for about a week or so, it gapped up finally. It broke out. And I would expect that to be a newfound support moving forward before it can continue going to 1873. So, Justin, if you see this come down to the 1747, just watch it. Don't freak out. Don't panic sell like a lot of people do. Just make sure that we don't break down. You'll lose about 50 cents a share. I understand that. But if you're doing this long term, then this is what you want to watch for. If we lose support here, then we're retesting the 1629, which would probably bring you down about $1.60. But anyways, that's what I would look for. Potentially coming back down to the 1747 if it does drop out. That's only if it drops out. But it looks like it's compressing here, so I could see that it potentially bouncing on its own without having to retrace anymore to the 1873. So that's what I would watch for here. Going back to this INFY trade, I'm sorry I wasted people's time essentially looking at the wrong stock symbol. Didn't pay attention. I'm still waking up myself this morning. We will look at Gmpx though. Get started with this. Let me clear up the chart so we can identify our levels once again. See how they play a part in the stock's price action. This is our current level of resistance that I'm sure will become support in the future. Let's go ahead. I'm not going to go too far back because I'm worried about what it's currently trading. I mean, you could go back into these stocks and see where these current levels that we're looking at play a part in it. But it looks like this stock has never seen these levels before. So it IPO'd back in March 1st of 99, hit the market. Let's identify this one here for the sake of the video. All right, these are going to be blue. Let me switch my colors so I can look at them properly. If y'all don't mind giving me a second, we're going to come back down on the day. Meets the criteria, cool. Come back on the 4 hour. Nothing else stands out different. It looks like we're going to retest the 1914. I'm not sure what you say your position was, 1783. I think you're pretty safe with the 1783. As you can see, the current trend line on the stock, if you want to do diagonals, as most people do, is somewhere to this degree. And I do that because I'm trying to find the points where the stock price hits the trend line the most. It's the most common trend line. So it looks like we're scurrying right at the bottom of it. We're in an ascending triangle. Just like we saw, though, that breakdown on the initial stock that we were looking at, the wrong stock symbol. Be careful with ascending triangles because they typically do something. Where's my arrows? They could typically do something like this. And let me pull my settings up to get rid of that extension. There we go. And then this. All right. As in the reverse, you would see it break out in a descending triangle. But anyways, pull those out. I would be careful with this. Once it hits the 1914, this could reject on you. So be careful of that. You know, take your, I think, what is that? Almost 10 to 15% on the trade if we retest the 1914. I would even almost want to pull it back down here because it's more common that the stock retested that level and then saw rejections. Never found support above it. So even if it's at the 1886, you're still looking at a potential 9-10% on the trade. Now, I'm not saying the stock's not going to go above those price levels. What you want to see is if we hit those levels, even if it's the 1914, we need to find strong support on there. Refer back to how it's previously traded. Once resistance, now support. That's what you want to confirm with any trade that you're in. Is identify your at least identify the most recent level of resistance and making sure that it confirmed to become the new level of support that the stock is currently trading in, and then identify your newest level of resistance and expect the same type of trend in it or the same type of action in it moving forward. So just want to point that out. That's what I would look for in this, Justin, going forward. We have a few more people in here with this morning's trading session. If you have some stocks you want to look at, let me know. It's currently 8:02 in the morning here Central Time. Oh man, Michael, we should have held our position in Gmpx, bro. Surely they would have gave us an office by now. But even with Gmpx, it's already broken out. A little late to the party. If you're trying to look at this stock, let me make sure everybody's aware of that. I'm gonna go ahead and identify this. As you can see, it hit 703. This is back when we were trading it back in March. I remember that 703 breakout. Anyways, dropped down to the 154. Currently fell in continuation, broke out, but found resistance here. It did break out above it a little bit, but the fact that it came back down is a concern. It cannot get past those levels apparently. and I'm sure that it's currently, yeah, it's sitting on right on top of that EMA. But on the 1 hour, this is a big concern here. The fact that the EMAs are starting to compress. I'm not sure what news or catalyst caused it to hit these levels once again. But just looking at the stock, I can, potentially see this coming back down. I know one conversation a lot of people are wanting to talk about is this buddy right here. And what I'm gonna do, you should tell them our price point. We're in at like $1, yeah. Oh man, if you spent some time looking at some of the stocks that we were in back in the day, some of them, like, we missed out on like 50, 60K if we would have held them longer. But of course that happened. So anyways, live and learn. Yep, exactly. And I mean, there's always money to be made, man. You can't get down and out about, missed opportunities. All right, so Sandal, SNDL, really disappointed me. I have some calls on it. I'm deep in the money on the calls, but I know I'm gonna have some pullback in my liquidity based on this pullback. I have some $1 calls on this all the way out to, let me see, where's my Sandal calls? All the way out to March 19th, so it has some time. I'm not losing too much on the theta. I'm not sure how many people here do options. If you'll just comment and leave a comment below and let me know. I'm currently losing $1 a day on my Sandal calls, so I'm not stressing too much, and waiting for this to subside and get out of the way. I believe they just announced like a 1 billion share shelf offering, which once again, offerings cause the evaluation of the company to be dispersed amongst more trades, which causes the stock price to drop. So I don't want too many people stressing about it. I know a lot of people have some hope in SNDL, and raise hands. Let's see. So I think that what I would like to say here is technically the shelf offering has been priced into the price. We found support at the 187. I think the shelf offering has been consolidated into the price. Now, one thing that you have to consider with this is the fact that when the retail investors see that this stock is down to 187 going into today's market, they're going to freak out and potentially panic sell. Wouldn't be surprised if that occurred. But for our longer term investors, more experienced investors, they see this as a good thing. There's more shares, more stake into the company for more people to come put liquidity into the stock. That's what offerings are about. It also supplies the company with direct, depending on how the offering's done, with direct liquidity for business operations. I think it's a good thing that they are taking the opportunity with all the hype in the stock. Stock's currently up still for us about 300%, 320% since we initially alerted on it back in November or December or something like that. So our investors here at Millennial Investments should be pretty comfortable if they still own that position that they made based off of that information we provided back then, to allow the stock to do what it needs to do, to allow the company to do what it needs to do, rather, moving forward. So, but a lot of people probably have been holding bags here, came in a little late to the party. This is why, once again, I don't come to the party for a drink. I come to buy the whole bar. And in this situation, we bought the whole bar. We caught it all the way back here. Perfect example. I want to take time to explain why I want you to be careful in deciphering when I'm giving you a buy signal or when I'm telling you to get a stock. Or just because I'm talking about it does not mean to get a stock. If you want my alerts and what to buy, you can register at our website for free. You get a free trade alert every day instantly as we release them. But I have to figure out normal stocks before I try options. Understood. I actually gave a deep breakdown on options last night. And I think it was still a little bit overwhelming. Anyways, but yeah, we bought back in, or we alerted back on. You can actually see it here. I pulled it up in case I needed to reference anything. we alerted into Sandal when it was December 22nd, when the stock was still at 52 cents. The company is debt free. I want you to keep that in mind. If you're looking at this as a long-term investment, the company went debt free in January, man. So everything that is doing as far as business operations should currently be pure profit. All right. So all the way back to, what did I say? December 22nd. Yeah, December 22nd. We bought the bar right about there. Okay. So as far as our investors here, you're safe. Depending on what your price average is in the stock, could be concerning for you or look concerning for you. I wouldn't, stress out too heavily. But we're finding strong support at a previous level of resistance. Keep that in mind. So we're currently building a platform to continue to take off from, but of course you have to consider the retail investors that could definitely destroy this. Decimate the stock price at this point. Looking for an entry here is the better level than buying it at 360s or anything above that. I know some people in our free chat room have it at like 290, and I keep trying to, give them some confidence that the company overall fundamentally is a great company. You have to understand and do research on the stocks that you are putting money into. That way you know what you're dealing with. And that's why a lot of people don't know what's going on or what to expect, or are so worried about, oh my gosh, my price average is down, or the stock's below my price average, and so on and so forth. Like, you have to find the right entries. Like, I don't find all the right entries every day either. That's not something that I'm gonna sit here and say, but I at least try to narrow down my entries to the best price. And that's what people need to take time to do, is research not only the company and its fundamentals, but the trend analysis, and identify these key levels just like we do. Anybody can be doing this. And as you can see, if you look at this, this is our alert change since we released our alerts. And this is all documented via email. I can verify this information. Look at that. Out of all of these stocks, we have these three that are down. Naked being one of them. Destroyed us. Naked actually bounced back up to 189. This short squeeze that's going on is still suppressing it. RMO's down only because the EV plays were down yesterday. I'm looking for that. That's a long-term hold. This company I'm most likely getting out of, although they are showing strength on the 730 moving forward. But other than that, like, I can do this. And you can go down my list real quick. I'm not going to slow down too slow. But it's pretty much all green, man. I think we have about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 out of 84 stocks that are in the red, which that only tells me this is potential areas. Anything above 5% is potential areas to buy the dip and find a better position in the stock than when we initially alerted on it. But anyways, back to Sandal. We're on the 187. Find support there because it was a previous level of resistance. If we were able to find support here and keep moving forward, and we don't get decimated by retail investors freaking out from this pre-market movement, then we could bounce off of this and continue moving forward like it should. Only reason the stock is currently down now is because it did a shelf offering for about was it 1 billion shares, I think I said earlier. Which is understandable. You're bringing a billion more shares. Was it 1 billion shares? That's a lot of shares. Let me see if I can pull some fundamentals up on this company, because that is. Let me pull some news up. $1 billion worth of $1 billion in securities worth, not 1 billion shares. Let me correct myself. Somebody told me I need to call my channel the Weed and Stocks channel because I'm high. I don't smoke. I barely drink. So, not the case here. Let me correct myself on that. But anyways, so you got to think about it from a business standpoint. This company just gained access to $1 billion. Like, think about what you could do with $1 billion and making your business better. So, long term, great company. Have faith in it. Don't freak out. If you're day trading, this might not be the place for you. If you are looking at it from a long-term investment standpoint, I think you're pretty safe. We broke down below the trend line. That's another signal that might cause people to freak out. But we did it before and found support above it again. So overall, just let it do its thing. Let it do its thing. Let people do what they're going to do and get out of your way. If they want to get out of the trade, let them out of the trade. That way you can continue moving forward. That's a theory I've always had. That's won me a lot of money. That's lost me a little bit of money because people continue panic selling and bringing stuff down. Anyways, we are at 8:15. I'm 15 minutes over what I expected. If anybody has any other stocks you would like to review while we have the opportunity to sit together and do so, feel free and let me know now. Otherwise, if you haven't already, please like, subscribe. Moving forward, please share this with everybody on your Facebook and Twitter so that we can bring more members into this and have a more thorough discussion, find more opportunities together. This is not about me sharing trades with you. This is about reviewing the trades you want to review, giving you an idea of the key levels to pay attention to if you're looking for entry into the stock or if you already have a price a position in it as we speak. So I want to make this about everybody else. We will do a Saturday session, which is a weekly recap on how some of the stocks we discussed going through the week performed. I will add them to a watch list, so at the end of the week we can just go down the list in the order that they were received from you guys, and then we will also start a new list based on the stocks we talk about on that Saturday for the week going into that next week, and we will also include any stocks that still have potential to move from our previous list, if that makes sense. But I want this to be like a rolling effect where we're bringing in stocks that you guys want to review, that you guys have interest in. We want to discuss why you have interest in it. I'm looking at potentially doing some type of call setup where you can actually call in and discuss why you want that trade or what sparks your interest in it so that other members can hear that. It's all about sharing the information collectively amongst everybody. It's all about finding opportunities together that we can all capitalize from. I could sit here all day and share my own trade alerts and stuff like that, but that's not what it's about. It's not just about me with our coffee and stock sessions. This is about us. If you want our stock information that we're pushing to our members, you can gladly register your free membership at Millennial Investments by clicking the link in the description below. If you want access to our entire portfolio, you can also buy a premium membership. It's only $69 a month. It's $10 for 7-day free trial if you are a new member. If not, the free members know what it is to upgrade. Other than that, man, we got about 14 minutes before the market opens, so I'm going to go get ready and make sure my portfolio myself is repositioned for the day, and make sure that we're good to go moving into the day, get rid of things that aren't performing for me and find some new opportunities. We didn't have a lot of new stocks added to today's list, but look forward to spending your day. If you spend your day researching new potential stocks, put it to the side on a sticky note or something, and then bring it into the conversation tomorrow so we can discuss it together as a group, as a team. That's what I'm trying to build here with this. So other than that, I hope I was able to provide you with some type of insight, some type of information. If so, feel free to like the video and let me know that in the comments. I really want feedback from everybody if there's something I'm not doing right or something I could do better to help me grow as a trader and an investor, and also a information provider for you in these sessions. Whatever you think's worthy of talking about, feel free to let me know. You can check out our social networks in the description below as well to connect with us everywhere. We're on Facebook, Twitter. We have a Discord channel called Investors Talk. It's a community that we're partnered with that has a bunch of free educational tools to help you grow as an investor or trader yourself and make better investments and trades. We're on StockTwits, and TradingView, as you can see here. We publish our free alerts to the public, but our premium memberships are only provided to our premium alert information is only provided to our premium members via our premium social network channels. If you're interested or have any questions about that as well, what that includes, let me know. We also, I want to let everybody know while I have your attention, we have a due diligence database that is free to use at millennialinvestments.com. If you're, all it takes is you being a free member on the website. You can go in your investor dashboard and search for a stock. I want to show you how to utilize this tool. So here, this is what you would see is search for stock. You would enter your ticker symbol. And then it will take you straight to the stock overview page. And then from there, you are able to submit and discuss trades amongst everybody else. It gives you a live active chart to use. So that takes a little bit of time to load because it is an active chart. It runs with the market, as you can see there. But here, if you click trade research, you can add your due diligence here. You do have to have a free membership in order to do it. You can also discuss trade discussions here. You can find some fundamental information. This is our trade alert information. If we don't have a trade alert on a stock, you will simply see the fundamentals on the stock and how it's performing as a business. And from there, you know, I'm just trying to provide everybody with as many free tools as I can, but at the same time, like, this costs me money to do. So feel free to register your free or premium membership at Millennial Investments to get access to more tools and trading resources to better improve your own investments and profits. Other than that, thank you for watching this morning's session. I appreciate you all for being here. I truly do. It's inspiring to even have people come here and listen to me talk about trades, although I hope the information is worth its while sitting here with us today at Millennial Investments. Like I said, if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments below after this video is published. If you weren't able to attend today's session, feel free to drop the stocks that you would like to look at in the comments below as well, and I will probably do like a separate compiled video of all of those reviews throughout the day when I find the time, whether it's this afternoon or if I find some time mid-market, I will do it. I don't mind. That's what it's about, is at least giving you my insight and how well we're able to perform here at Millennial Investments. We're snowed in, so I'm not going anywhere all day. But anything else you want to talk about, feel free to connect with me on one of our social media channels that you prefer, and I'd be more than glad to discuss anything with you in regards to investments and trading. Otherwise, we've got about 9 minutes before market open. I'm going to go ahead and let everybody go and get ready for the market myself. Thank you for watching again. I truly appreciate it. I really do. And I hope you have a great day. Good luck trading. I hope I was able to help you prepare for today's session a little bit better than yesterday. Otherwise, that's it for now, guys. Stay tuned for our free trade alert for the day. We will release later, and also some of our trade reviews on some of our alerts. And if you have any questions about that, like I said, hit me up. Otherwise, thank you all. Have a good one.